have an interesting show. We're going to talk to you all about bugs, everything you want to know about sexually transmitted diseases and probably didn't want to know about how to catch them. So we're gonna get all of the insight. Joining me right now is a Toronto public health nurse who works in a sexually transmitted disease clinic, who knows everything you want to find out about these nasty critter crawlers. Natalie Fawcett, come on out here, please. Now, you work in a sexually transmitted disease clinic. What's the most interesting thing that happens to you in a day?
It can really vary. Day by day, you never know what to expect. Some days are pretty routine. You see people, they come in, it's the same story, they go out. But then there are always the interesting, unique stories that can happen.
Okay. How many sexually transmitted diseases does the clinic see?
I would say probably hundreds every year.
Hundreds every year? Not great.
What's the most common disease you see coming in?
Probably genital warts, otherwise known as human papillomavirus or HPV. There are about 80 different strains of it, and because it's a virus, there's no cure for it. So we can treat the symptoms and make the actual warts go away if there are warts, but you will always carry it for life and pass it on to others possibly.
Not a fun thing to have, and you mentioned that there were other problems related to it?
Certainly. The other thing with genital warts is that there are some that are invisible to the human eye, and often it gets picked up on a pap test, and those strains of warts are closely related with a higher risk of developing cancer of the cervix for women, so they need to have a regular pap test.
Natalie, on a serious note, I wanted to ask you, if somebody is sexually active, how often would you recommend that they go in and get checked for STDs?
Often. Certainly don't be afraid to go in and talk to your doctor or nurse. There are special clinics that are set up that specially deal with STDs. Certainly I believe that even if you're in a long-term relationship, you should be getting yourself checked at least once a year, just to be sure.
Sure.
You never know. A lot of these infections you can have and not know. If you're starting a new relationship, that is the most important time to go, is
Right.
talk about this ahead of time and go in and both of you get checked together. It can be a sharing experience. And if you're somebody who chooses to have a lot of different partners, of course, you know, use safer sex, use condoms, use barrier methods. For that person, because they're at a higher risk with so many partners, a condom can break or something, I would say go in at least every 3 months.
Right. And important to make that distinction between somebody who wants to have a lot of partners, such as myself, and someone who does.
Oh, yeah.